The agenda for today will cover who we are, what ISO is, why it is needed, and what to do next. This presentation will take approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Within that time frame, I hope to cover the majority of your questions. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, who are we? Well, this is me. My name's Jennifer. I'm the Operations Director, and I've been with the business since 2010. We're a family-run organisation, and family is very close to the heart of our business. In May 2000, Peter Appleton, my father and our chairman, formed the independent family-owned business following his experience working with a competitor and after seeing a gap in the marketplace. As mentioned before, I came into the business in 2010 and joined primarily to do new business. However, over the years, I became more and more involved, undertaking my operations director role in 2013, and now I undertake an all-round business role. We're proud that the company has established a close, well-knit team that regularly comment about them being treated like an extended family, and this ethos is something that's very important to us, the directors. This is our office mascot, Harry, who comes into the office with me most days and is a firm favourite with the staff and visitors alike. Okay, so on to ISO. What is it? ISO stands for the International Standards Organisation. It is the seal of approval from a third party that a company or business runs to one of the internationally recognised ISO or BS, which stands for British Standards Management Systems. As the title will indicate, all the standards that come under the ISO are internationally recognised. They provide framework and consistency for organisations and help give control and direction. The logo that you see on the right-hand side will be what a company receives once they've passed their certification. And this is good for marketing. So you might see it on lorries going up and down the motorway. You might see it on letterheads. It's a good statement to have on your website to inform customers that you adhere to this particular standard. The one shown here is for the ISO 9001. So there are 4 core standards that we certificate to, but also are probably the most prominent ones out in the marketplace today. And I'm just going to talk you through those now. So the one that I've already mentioned is the ISO 9001, which is the Quality Management System. Although it's called a Quality Management System, we often refer to it as a business management system because the whole ethos of this standard is to help you meet the needs of your customer. So it takes you from when they very first interact with you, right the way through your dealings with them and providing them with your product or service, and into the aftercare and making sure that they either return to you or refer other people to do so. This standard helps business owners and directors particularly feel more in control, whilst enhancing the productivity and performance of an organisation. In summary, the ISO 9001 can be achieved by any business of any size, in any sector, which is looking to increase and enhance its business productivity and performance, and at the end of it, satisfy its customers. The next standard is the ISO 14001 Environmental Management Standard. This standard helps your company control the impact on the environment. It helps you lower your environmental liability by ensuring that you are mitigating any potential risks. And overall, it demonstrates commitment to the environment to your stakeholders, be this suppliers, customers, or staff. The ISO 27001 is the Information Security Management Standard. Now, this isn't to be confused with a cyber standard. This is about any information that an organisation holds that is confidential or is of value to the organisation. It allows a business to effectively manage any risks or vulnerabilities to the security of this confidential information. It helps highlight any potential vulnerabilities and therefore put actions in place to mitigate. And most of all, it helps protect a business against any potential threats to the security of its confidential information. We've seen a rise in computer hacking and businesses losing very confidential data. So this standard puts the controls and processes in place to make sure that that doesn't happen. And the final standard is the BS-OH SAS 18001. Now you'll notice that this one has a BS in front of it, not an ISO, which means it's a British only at this stage. However, it is something that is looking to become an international standard towards the end of this year, 2017. And it will be called the ISO 45001. It's currently in draft phase. However, it will have the same ethos, so everything I'm going to tell you about this standard will still be relevant. So this standard enables your business to be proactive in its health and safety management. It looks to protect the health and well-being of your workforce and control and monitor any risks. So it will look at things like hazards and risk assessments and what your processes are, with the main aim to be continually improving and bettering your health and safety management system. Okay, so I just thought I'd cover off with you why companies need ISO, and we have some short and long-term benefits here. So in the short term, businesses tend to approach us if they want to public sector tender or even tender for private sector contracts whereby a formal tendering process is needed. It could be that they want to have some, and I've mentioned it before about marketing, some subliminal marketing. Or it could be that they need to provide themselves with more credibility in the marketplace. By having the standards in place, it allows your potential customers to see that you are being audited against particular elements. So, if it was something particularly important to them around about the environmental, by having the 14001 in place, your customers will see that you have a shared ethos and therefore give you more credibility to be a provider for them. So why you might need ISO in the long term is to provide organisational stability. Now, the 9001 is primarily the one that does this. However, if you think about the information security management system, if you were to experience a data breach which put your confidential information at risk and put the business at risk, that's obviously going to affect the organisation stability. So there are other standards that also look at that. They can help improve staff retention if you've got a particularly green-minded staff where this is an important factor for them. It can help with that, but also the 9001 has a training capability in there as well, which training, as I'm sure you'll be aware, is proven to improve staff retention and morale. It can improve customer satisfaction. All the standards have some form of customer satisfaction, particularly the 9001. But again, it's all about providing a consistent level of service and making sure the business is stable for future transactions. And again, it can help with growth. So if you think back to public sector tendering, that's going to be a big part of growing an organisation. So it puts you in a better position to be able to grow. It can also provide the business and employees with protection. So if you think about the health and safety standard, for example, that is protecting the welfare of its employees and its suppliers and customers and any visitors to sites. But also the information security management protects employees, or protects the business from exposing employees to data that they shouldn't be seeing, which again can help with staff morale and again control of an organisation. Okay, so how can ISO Quality Services Limited help? So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to just quickly talk you through our process to obtaining certification. So in the initial stages, we would, before this stage one, we would actually come out and visit you. One of our representatives would come and visit you and talk through why you were looking at the standard, just to make sure that you're looking at the right standards, that you're going to achieve the objective that you've set out for yourself, and make sure that the standard is actually going to deliver for you. So we'll spend an hour with you going through that, and we'll provide you with a proposal. Once this proposal's been accepted, that's where stage 1, the initial assessment, comes into place. So we will visit your premises and we will conduct a gap analysis against the chosen standard. This will just identify anything that you already do that's compliant and anything that you don't. We very much take you as you are. What we want to find out is where are the gaps and what do you need help with. We'll write all of your documentation or any mandatory documentation that's required or any documentation that we feel will be relevant to you. And at stage 3, about 6 to 8 weeks later, we'll come and present this back to you. Now, in this stage, you will be asked certain actions to undertake, and all being well, if those actions have been completed, this will be the point where you achieve your certification. It's a very forward-looking process. Once you've achieved your certification, that's when you start to gather evidence against the new processes and procedures or against the compliancy of the standard. We will then come back and audit you every 6 months to ensure that you're remaining on track. And this is our auditing cycle here. So you can see at the 6-month stage, we do an internal review. And then at the 12-month stage, we do a re-certification audit. So a little bit more about us. As we said, we are an independent organisation and we very much specialise in ISO. We are a business consultancy, but our specialism is ISO. We can provide additional consultancy and training and internal audit support should a business require it. Our main aim is to help businesses improve, assist them maintaining the standard. So just coming back a little bit more about our ethics and our ethos. As we mentioned, we are a family business, and as you can see, we've actually won a business award for Employer of the Year at the Family Business Awards. And we're also big into apprenticeships. I personally do a lot around apprenticeships in the local business community, and we have been recognised for our efforts there. So what can you do now? If you're interested in finding out more, then we are on LinkedIn, Twitter. Please do visit our website. It's a new website launched mid last year, so please give us any feedback on it, how you find it. Or if you prefer, drop us a call on 01 905 670 303, where one of our team will be happy to speak to you.